Alright guys, I'm back at it again with another video. I wanted you guys to see my daughter's hair. Do you see those brown spots? I'm sorry, I try to slow this down as much as I could. But do you see like those little brown flakes in her hair? This is how her hair get when it's very dry. It gets dandruff and flaky and eczema takes over. This right here is due to the eczema. These white spots surrounds every single strand in her hair. Now imagine how that could look if I took this shot from like a microscope. But these surround every single strand in her hair. I'm sorry if you barely can see it, but the white little spots are in her hair. She also get white patches, and that's like, you know, kind of more of a normal thing for dandruff, but not the white patches around every single strand in her hair. I think that's what thinned her hair out before, and gave her a lot of itching issue with her eczema. I have eczema, her dad has eczema, and because it's hereditary, she gets like the worst type of eczema because both parents has it. But I'm trying to figure out what can I do to stop her hair from thinning out again, and I tried braids. The braids help as far as keeping that strands of hair moisturized with oil. As you can see, the middle of her head is completely dry, but that's because her scalp and the hair outside of the braid is exposed to, you know, rubbing up against something, drying out. And under the braid is very protected. The scalp there is very nicely moisturized. But one thing my daughter did get that she did not have in a while was like a fungus grew in the front of her head. I haven't seen this since she was about 4 months old, and she got it again when she was 8 months because she got pneumonia. Now, when she was 4 months, I didn't wash her hair. I just scraped it off her scalp with a fine-tooth comb very gently. It took me about an hour to get that little piece off because I didn't want to irritate her scalp anymore. But I had to get it off there. When she was in the hospital with pneumonia, the doctors wouldn't let me touch her. They kept her in a bubble. They wouldn't let me wash her hair. They wouldn't let me wash her. They wanted her to get better first. So her hair thinned out and it fell out. And her skin, as far as the rest of her body, got severe patches of eczema, like extra layers of scaly skin. It took months to get her back to normal. But anyway, I'm going to show you guys how dry her hair is. I wanted you guys to see some of the things I deal with as a mom, trying to make sure that my daughter and my son don't have these issues. My son grew out of it. My daughter's only 2, my son is 5. Hopefully she grows out of it. I'm going to loose up this braid, and I'm going to show you guys her hair as far as it being nice and oily. Okay, as you can see, this strand of hair right here is nicely moisturized. It stayed that way because it was braided down. And that's what I was aiming for. That's what I wanted. I got what I wanted. I got what I was aiming for. Thumbs up. Anyway, I'm going to loose this braid up and then come back. I wanted to show you guys that her hair was nice and oily here, but it was also a little dirty, but she's a 2-year-old. She plays in dirt. And right here is more white spots around her strands of hair. Okay, I'm going to show you guys what I think is a fungus. I think this right here under her hair is a fungus. I've seen it before, like I said, when she was 4 months and 8 months. But this right here, I think is more of a fungus because dandruff is dry and flaky. And a fungus is fungus grow where there's moisture. So I think because there was moisture and dandruff, it created a fungus baby. And this right here is a dry spot on her hair. This is how her whole hair looks on the outside of her braids around her head. And I was trying to avoid this. I was trying to get results more of, you know, how under her braids look, where there's a lot of moisture under her braids. See, her hair is still greased, nice and oily from the castor oil that I use. And the castor oil may have been a little too thick for her hair, I'm not sure, but I like the fact that it's nice and oily, and that's why I started braiding her hair. But I think I'm gonna go to ponytails. I'm not gonna braid her hair anymore, well, at least for not for a while. I'm not gonna use moisturizing with braids anymore. I'm going to just do this process with ponytails. Okay, right here I'm just showing you how dry her hair gets. And I'm going to loose out this other braid and show you this side of her hair. Okay, I do want to say that I did loose that braid up, and it does not look as bad as the other side. It does have the flakes, like I showed you in the video from a week ago. It does have the flakes on this side, and it didn't have that on the other side. The yellow stuff or the brown stuff that's on her scalp isn't as mushy as the other side. It's more of a crusty, flaky type, so I don't know why is a difference in it. But her scalp is still moisturized just like the other side, and that's what I was aiming for. Like I said, both sides were moisturized where the scalp was, so she didn't have any issues there. And I'm trying to figure out what can I do to keep her whole entire head that way, and I think I'm gonna do ponytails. Here I just wanted you guys to see how dirty this side of her hair was. It was a little more dirty. She's a 2-year-old, so she's going to get into dirt, whatever, playing, rolling around on the floor. But like I said, this dandruff or that stuff was not as mushy as the other side. This is what I'm going to go to using. Again, it has olive oil and tea tree oil in it, and tea tree oil works for dandruff. And what I do is I just either spray it in my hand and I would rub it into her hair, or I would just take it and spray it directly into her hair. And her hair responded well to this. I used this a year ago. This is still the same bottle that I started with a year ago when I got her out of the hospital. And I went to the store and I looked at this and I grabbed it. And to my surprising, her hair loved it. It's just over time I stopped using it and I switched to maybe a gel. So what I'm going to use daily is just this foam and a hair grease. And I said a hair grease because I don't want to use an oil anymore. Okay, so what I did was I went on Google and I typed in good hair grease for eczema. And 4 brands popped up, Softy and Blue Magic. I know Softy was too much of a lighter grease and I wanted to go with a more thicker grease. Something that's going to last her all night, all day. So I went to the dollar store. I always stop at Dollar General, and I chose the green jar. They only had the blue and the green there. They didn't have the 2 white jars that I saw online. So I chose this one, and all the ingredients were pretty much the same on the back, and it had directions on it. It says hair and scalp conditioner effectively conditions and controls hair in all kinds of weather. Balanced formula helps prevent dry, dull hair and flaky, itchy scalp. And that's what I want due to her eczema. Never greasy or tacky to the touch. Regular use helps prevent breakage. The directions also state that you should apply by thoroughly working it into the hair and scalp with fingertips. Style as you please. And I going to repeat, thoroughly work it into the hair. Okay, so what I did was I took a good bit of this hair grease and I put it into my hands. I didn't have to part her hair into sections because her hair is still thin. I just rubbed it in my hands and then I went and I rubbed it onto her hair like this. And I'm just going to thoroughly work this into her hair for like maybe 2 or 3 minutes. I'm brushing her hair to make sure her hair is good and detangled. You don't want any tangle, any knots. I'm going to work it up the back, and I'm going to work the ends, and then I'm going to work the edges, and then I'm going to, twirl it, try to make sure that I've thoroughly worked it into her hair. I want her hair to be nice and moisturized. One thing I can say is with that foam and this hair grease, it acts as if some type of gel. So if you want to use a more greasier gel and not an actual gel for her hair, try using these two products together. They create some kind of like edge control for the whole hair, not just the edges. But anyway, as you can see, her hair is clear. I did went back and scrape that stuff off her scalp off camera because I had to get her to lay down to do it. And I clear her head. I couldn't wash her hair because it's too cold outside and we're about to leave and go pick up my son from school, and I didn't want to take her out in that air after being into the tub and risking her getting pneumonia all over again. So if you guys want me to do an update on this video, I'm going to do it anyway in a few months though. I want to try this process out. Stay tuned for it. I'm going to do an update on how this works out on her hair. But thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, leave comments below on processes you think I could use or some kind of steps you think I need to take, and stay tuned for the update.